Hi, I'd like to show you today how to export your gradebook. This is going to be helpful for Gradekim in addition to some other applications that I need it for. So I've opened up Infinite Campus and I need to click on the 9 square up here in the corner and go to Campus Instruction. You'll have to do this every time you want to take attendance or enter anything in the gradebook. So now here's kind of our issue. In your gradebook, when we're starting out, there's nothing in there yet, so you can't export your gradebook if there's nothing there. Sorry, I'm in the wrong year. Let me switch. Okay, so here's what this year's gradebook looks like. At first, there's just nothing there. So we can't export our gradebook if there's nothing to export. We're going to have to add a category and add an assignment. And don't worry about making this perfect. I like to add something that I'm going to use anyway, but if you're not ready to set this up, add some throwaway category. I always have getting started where I record whether they've turned in their lab safety form or whatever, so that I can keep track of who's got that done. That category is created. Now I'm going to make a new assignment and add assignment. Let's see, I need them to turn in the lab safety agreement, and I need that for all of my classes, and you'll have to click this and put a score in there. So I'm going to put 1, kind of like binary. The 1 means they got it and the 0 means they didn't. Sometimes if you put a missing in for something like this, it flags the parents and they turn things in better. Don't forget, you can always add that file that you want them to turn in to the Infinite Campus. That way a parent could click the link and all of a sudden they have the file you need. Okay, and save your assignment. So now we have something in the gradebook. So we added our assignment into a category. Now let's go to Gradebook Reports, and we're going to choose the report option that says Gradebook Export. So all of the kids are clicked. Let me change this to the class I want. So there's my first hour chemistry class. Click Generate Report, and then you get an untitled thing. So go look in your downloads, whether it's up here or sometimes your download is hiding down below. There we see all of my students for my first hour class and the assignment that I added. So now we're going to manipulate this a little bit to get our spreadsheet to look the way we want it to. Just one quick tip though, if this is the spreadsheet that you see when you click on that download, that means you forgot to add an assignment first. So now I'm going to get rid of my first 2 rows because I don't need those, and the program I'm importing them into might misinterpret the empty space. I need to separate all of the things in the A column into their own individual columns, so that's what we'll do next. So I clicked on the letter A to select that entire column. Now find the tab for data, and we're going to do text to columns. And just click next on the first screen, and I'm going to check every single box so that I can separate out everything. And in the other box, I'm going to put the number sign because I don't want to have the number sign interfering with my importing into another program. So now that I've selected all of those things, I only have to do that one time. Sometimes you'll notice kids have 2 last names or 2 middle names and things are shifted. Just put them back where they belong. I don't need the middle name for any program that I use. So I move this over, and now I've got last name, first name, and student ID number. You can put a heading in the first row if you want to. I'm just not going to for now because I don't need it. So do File, Save As, and then put it somewhere where you will find it. So this is my first hour chem roster of 2015. I'm just going to put it on my desktop for now so it's easy to get to. And I'll move it later if I decide I want to keep it. All right, that's how you export a roster. Now let me show you how to import it into Gradekim. So we'll open the Gradekim program. Your sign-in is your school email, and then the password that you chose after you clicked on the invitation that I sent you. Now let's go to classes, and we want to add a class. So I'm going to call this Chem 2015 and period 1. If you put the period in the name of the class and then the period again down here, it might look redundant to you. Now we'll import students and choose the file that we just saved to the desktop, 1Chem roster 2015, and tell it to import. Now it's going to ask, do you have a header row? And I'm going to tell it that I do not. So that's why I told you you can have a header row if you want to, because then it asks for that information. And we have a CSV file. Everything looks pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary, so I say next. And now it's asking for the information, where's the first name? My spreadsheet has the first name in column 2. Where's the last name? That's in column 1. The student ID number is in column 3. And I want to use 5 digits of the student ID number, because if I don't, then some of our kids will be totally confused where they put all their numbers. So push next and then submit. And here's your roster. And I just always scroll all the way through and make sure that you don't have anything that looks strange. Looks good to me. So that's how we import the roster into Gradekim. You'll do this for each class that you teach. If I do it for you, then it might not look the way you want. So I suggest that you do a gradebook export as soon as you have an assignment in the gradebook, or you can make one up like I did, and then import them into Gradekim so that you can get started using the scanning capabilities. And I'll talk about that more in another podcast.